my mom came into the room and she's like, look at my phone. And then I couldn't see it, so I had to look at mine. I'm like, oh.
I can't bet against Tom Brady. I have the Bucks winning 31-27 and Tom Brady going to his 10th championship.
Yeah, and I really think the Clippers' chance to win the championship was last year. And they were up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets.
Chris Paul is one of the most underrated players of all time. He's been the best player wherever he goes, and that includes with the Rockets.
You said you can't bet against Tom Brady, and as a Cowboys fan and what I just did last weekend, I am not going to bet against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. I mean, that's all I can really say. There's two of the top 5 players in the league, and they are very, very good.
Hello, I'm Taylor Hearn, and you listen to the Outsiders' Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NHL Opinions of the Week. With the season about to start, it kind of signifies that we're about to have a really fun NHL season. And a team that, to me, surprised this wasn't too much on my radar was Kirill Kaprizov signed an 8-year, $136 million contract, which takes the annual value to $17 million, which is the highest AAV ever in the NHL by $3 million, which a $3 million is a significant difference in the NHL.
Yeah, average annual value of 17 is a lot, right? So that's a lot for any normal person, but also for the NHL, that's a large gap between the highest paid player and the second highest paid player. Kaprizov has been very good for the Wild in his career, but I also feel like this is a sense that we're finally escaping COVID. COVID hit the NHL probably the hardest of all the major 4 sports leagues in the United States, and I think this is kind of a sign that we're finally past that bump in the road because contracts were supposed to go up. And then COVID happened, and contracts have kind of been steadying down for the majority of the high-ranking players. So I think this is a sign that we're finally escaping that downward trend that COVID caused across the globe, but also in the NHL.
Yeah, that's a great point, talking about just the cap and how it was expected to go up, and then it didn't because of COVID, in fact, just leading to issues of just kind of attendance and where the NHL makes a lot of its money. There's not too much money in the media rights compared to the NFL, NBA, and it's been a difference between all the leagues with the salaries between all the players. And for a player that, yes, Kaprizov is very good, but to me, he's not the best forward in the NHL. That's more Connor McDavid, which this is a huge part of him because he's a pending free agent next year. And he is talking to Edmonton, and there's other issues that we've talked about with Edmonton, possibly not getting a goalie and McDavid wanting to win. And of course, he wants to make some money. His contract right now is 12.5 AAV, and that's lower than Draisaitl, who Kaprizov passed with 14 million AAV. So there's also some stacked players as well, but it's going to be hard for the Oilers to fix their goalie situation, which, unless they do it through the draft, is going to be expensive, and keep Draisaitl and McDavid together. Because I'm sure McDavid's going to bring this to the table and go, I want 18 or at least 17.
Yeah, that's definitely a concern that the Oilers are going to have. Now, it's really up to McDavid at the end of the day, because I think the Oilers will pay whatever McDavid eventually wants. It's just whether or not McDavid wants to return to Edmonton. I think this season will be a big reason why or why not he decides to return. But this is definitely across the market for teams like Toronto or Boston or any one of those teams that have future cap space or want to or have a history of paying players a lot of money, especially Toronto. This is definitely it resets the market. It's kind of like the QB market. It kind of just resets the market.
Yeah, it really does reset the market, and to me, it's going to cause a lot of speculation of what players do because, in addition, to me, there's Kaprizov and Jason Robertson have been connected. a lot just given their race in the Calder Trophy, and they were both rookies that year when Kaprizov won. How does this affect the Stars who are paying Rantanen? And there's already been issues between the Stars and Robertson about the contract.
Yeah. I think that across the NHL, this contract will make waves. And I think any new player or any player that's about to reach free agency will take this into consideration, especially if they consider themselves to be on the level of Kaprizov by any means. Because while Kaprizov is extremely talented, I don't think anyone would consider him a top 5 player in the league. So him making more than those players, if you're a young guy and you expect yourself to be on that level, you kind of know now what to expect from the owner side. And this goes for agents as well.
Yeah, it's really going to cause, I would say, an exciting thing for the NHL because players can make more in a quick amount of time. It's going to even out to where hopefully in a few years it's 20 million AAV goes to the best player, and that just raises the floor of contracts. And yeah, talking about some of the other players, of course, McDavid, Jason Robertson, you could argue, I think Kaprizov is better, but you have Jack Eichel as well, being a unrestricted free agent next year. And he's someone that I would say it's arguable because of his injuries, but he is a fantastic center, and he will probably demand what Kaprizov's contract.
Yeah. There'll definitely be waves felt across the league.
Yeah, but I don't think it's Minnesota had to do this because you can't lose a player like Kaprizov.
Especially after making the playoffs last year. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I just think kind of they need that star guy, and it will be interesting to see how well he plays with this new contract and what they can do to build around him because they weren't. Yes, they did make the playoffs, but it was not a perfect roster. So there's still a lot of work left to do with that roster.
That's true.
So that concludes this episode. Let us know your thoughts as we enter the NHL season. How do you feel about this contract? We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.